Hey, hey, hey. I think everything looks good. Uh, hey, all. Professor Kaiju here. Welcome back to another SSSS Dynazenon live stream. How is everybody doing, if anyone is here? Let me see. And we got everything in order today. I can't tell. Looks like... I don't know, just give it a few minutes. See if anyone drops in. Audio's good. Hey, Heroic Gangster. Hey, how's it going? Good to hear. I'm always afraid like I've got something off or whatever. Never sure if I've got something like accidentally turned off or up or whatever. It's very hot, but I am here to go crazy on one theory in my load. Okay, cool. Yeah, this episode has I'm not sure on some stuff that I thought about now before. You know, like unless this world like works in a really weird different way than I'm used to, or that we would think it would, like whatever. Yeah, I'm some of my other theories may have been blown out of the water or not. I don't know. It really depends. I'm really curious now more about the villains and everything. To hear more about them. Let's see. Yeah. I think I basically have everything ready to go. All right, so yeah, episode 3. Yeah, this is a really interesting one. Getting to see more about Galma and the villains, the kaiju eugenicists and everything. Um, like he had already said in an earlier episode, Galma, that he like knew who these guys were, so it wasn't like a big jump to think that they used to be like comrades, you know. But it's very interesting, like very like Galma, like the whole episode is about him. You know that he was a traitor to them and everything, but like they don't really give a good reason. Like he never gives like a really good solid thing. Like later on, like he says he was searching for like a woman, whoever gave him Dynadragon apparently, and that right there kind of just like who the fuck is that? Like I seriously just thought it was Grid. I just legit thought it was Gridman, but I don't know who this person is. Maybe they're like a female hyper agent. Maybe they're a completely crazy original different character. Uh yeah, I'm trying to get my bearings again because I'm trying to remember everything that happened this episode. Cause a lot of it was just like more. There's a lot of slice of life stuff happening. I like how they called Dynazenon a phony kaiju in there. Like they don't say like it's a mecha or it's a robot or anything like that. So that kind of does make me wonder now if Dynazenon or Dynadragon is considered in the Gridman world to be more than just like a machine. Like maybe there is something more to it, like its own actual entity, like something like Gridman in a way, like it's its own has its own type of intelligence or something. It ain't got much character bonds that I've liked from the last episode, but introduces some stuff. And yeah, Galma needed a more drastic secret. Yeah, like it. Like the whole thing about them, like, oh, we can't later on when they're like, we can't combine because you haven't told us like your stuff, and I'm like, I feel like there might be more to Galma than just, you know, it seems like he decided that he didn't want to to do the same stuff that the eugenicists were doing, like terrorizing people and stuff with kaiju. But then just to be like, I'm just searching for a woman, that's like the whole reveal. Whoever gave him Dynazenon just seems kind of... I felt like there was something else that was going to come after that. I thought for sure there was going to be something, he was going to say something else, but everyone else is just like, okay, that's cool, let's just combine now. Unless if he felt embarrassed for some reason. The show does have a weird thing with the joke of one of the characters being unemployed. I guess that they think Galma is in love. I don't know. I mean, if I could see them thinking that, and it kind of like comes off like maybe he was looking for that reason, but it kind of sounded more like he wanted to, because I feel like in the last episode, if I remember correctly, he had said that he still wasn't sure why Dynadragon was given to him, so maybe it's more of a curiosity, like he wants to go ask them, why did you give me this machine? What is this exactly? You know, what's the purpose? Is there some greater purpose that I'm supposed to fulfill with this thing? It does seem... I have this feeling like maybe the person saw something in Galma, gave him Dynadragon, decided, you know, that you need to protect this place, this planet, this world. But yeah, there wasn't like a whole lot of like crazy interesting tidbits. Oh man, I'm gonna forget all of their names again. Yomogi is blue hair, and it's God, what is her name? Minami, whatever. Blonde Rika, that's... God, I'm gonna have to go with it again. Strawberry Blonde Rika, and her sister. Like she's learning more about her sister, finds the chorus class that she was part of, chorus club, and then she's trying to find out more about her. I'm really curious about, I'm really curious about her pendant that she has from her sister. The two, like, black and white inks that just like look like a puzzle toy or something. Like, I feel like, I wonder if there's something to this. Like, is it gonna be an item? Like, is it gonna like result in like some crazy thing later, or maybe it's just for character development? Like, maybe when these things come apart, it'll be like her growth. It will symbolize her growth, that she's finally come to terms with her sister passing away, or learned more about her or something. You may know. God, I'm gonna be honest. I can be bad. I'm really bad with names sometimes. I don't want to make it sound like I'm really bad with Japanese names. It's just there are some that I find a little easier to remember offhand. And if I've binged a series, it's usually easier when I've heard or read the names over and over again. Yeah, they're still... I like this about on their phones, like looking at the different kaiju, and just like basically on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, just being like, oh man, you know, just snapping pics and stuff. And they just don't seem that concerned. Also, like, whatever this guy, glasses guy, just comes up to Yomogi at school and just talks to him. And he's just like, yeah, you know, Galma betrayed us, you know, so that's a thing. You may want to talk to him about that. And then Galma apparently is a sign holder for some apartments. I like the fact that Galma, this random ass guy who looks like he like binges food like wherever he can, which they show later he does, as he's eating crabs that he got from the river, and he's eating them raw. But he's gotten 2 jobs, a day shift job and a night shift job, and he's more employed than bowl cut guy. The puzzle toy, I do hope, will be something actually important and not just show up at the end like Rika's gift to Akane. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they keep showing it, so I feel like there is something, but it really could just be something like a small symbol of her bond with her sister or something like that. I could see them doing that with it and not just being a not being like an actual device or something, like doesn't transform into something, doesn't give like a power. But even then, it's already a little bit better than the bus pass thing that Rika got for Akane, because I feel like that showed up like several episodes into the series, and like she had looked at Akane and noticed that she didn't have like anything for her bus pass, anything to hold it, and then she later got the gift, and it just there wasn't really, it kind of was brought up in there, and it was, I know this would be like a little symbol thing, but there really wasn't much to it. And honestly, it's one of those, if you missed that one scene, her looking at the pass, you would have just completely not even realized that was a gift or something. Like with this, she has those that little thing like from the get-go, from like episode 1. So I don't know. Hopefully it will mean something, even if it's just like an emotional sort of symbolism or something. Yama really is getting implication of being a kaiju with the amount of anti-tropes Sato's giving off. Yeah, I seriously thought he might be, when I first saw him, I thought he might be something along the lines of anti, until he started controlling kaiju. Yeah, I guess though, he obviously wasn't, because no one mentioned how stinky he was, which is something that Auntie had a problem with. Yeah. It's really interesting with... This is just a much more low-key episode. Like, I'm having trouble thinking about, like, what to talk about in here. Like, yeah, it's just more character interaction, since you've got him, bowl cut, talking to the blonde chick from Yomogi's job, and they used to know each other. And it seems to be one of those things of, she's married, she's doing her own thing, and he's just like, I'm unemployed and I'm too embarrassed to talk about that. Used to know each other back from high school or whatever. And then what is her name again? Miris? Chise. I think it was Chise. I really don't have anything down for her. I keep feeling like there's going to be something about her, because she just seems like this, especially from the theme song. I feel like there's going to be something. She's going to come out to be like a hidden villain or something. There's something also interesting that... Okay, right. Oh, this part. I remember being frustrated that the shiny orb that kept showing up in the episodes in the opening of SSSS Gridman was never used in some way. So hope that Dynazenon doesn't do that again. Shiny orb. Do you mean what Akane was putting inside of the kaiju when she made them? I'm trying to remember what that was. Shiny orb. But yeah, this whole thing, they say that they existed, the eugenicists say they existed 5,000 years ago. They died, and then they came back, and they're in this era. And Yomogi just takes that completely for face value, doesn't like talk about it, doesn't seem like that, I don't know, surprised, impressed, anything. And then he goes and talks to them, the rest of them, and just says, yeah, they died 5,000 years ago and they were revived in this era, just the normal shit. And they go out to Galma, who has his little home under the bridge, and eating his crabs. And yeah, he's just like, yeah, we used to be friends, and I existed 5,000 years ago. I betrayed them. I died, and then I somehow was reborn in this era. And they just... It's the lack of, like, reaction to that at all. I know that they live in a world with kaiju, and this is it's like it's this whole thing. If there's a world filled with kaiju and they realize that and everything, maybe they don't think of like someone existing 5,000 years ago was like that crazy of a that big a deal. But the thing, but the thing is like my original theory was this was like SS Gridman's world, Akane's world when Gridman brought all the stuff back to life. And I thought this was the same world, but they're saying they existed 5,000 years ago. So it's like, that's impossible. Like, they are obviously in the same, like, even if it's not the same year, the same, like, decade or something that, like, Akane was in. Like, things don't seem to have been, like, that much different, so I don't think there's that big of a time gap. Unless when the world was fully brought to like, fruition, somehow it kind of got its own history and people were born with... I don't know. Because someone was comparing screenshots in this episode I saw on Twitter to other episodes from SS Gridman, and they were like almost like one for one, like the supermarket that they're outside of at night. It's like one for one with the supermarket from SS Gridman and everything like that. And like that doesn't mean anything. Like Trigger could have just put that shit in there just as like a little nod or a joke. Even just like reusing assets, you reusing a couple things of animation or whatever just to like help with an episode or two. But it's like there has to be a connection, right? Like but they're saying they existed 5,000 years ago. Maybe it's a different digital world, because that's the other thing. The kaiju are in the city, but in Gridman's world, kaiju are in the digital, are in computers. Which made sense from SSS Gridman because they were technically in a computer world. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm just gonna read. The shiny orb was what Caliber got out of a the Ramune orb thing. Yeah, it was just that's like, yeah, that's what they have in those drinks. Yeah, I don't know why they made it seem like it was like more important than what it was. I don't know. So who do we think the girl is that Galma spoke of? Akane, the girl from the OG show. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. It could be Yuka from the original Gridman. She might have had Dynazenon. She's a guess. There's that. It could be Akane. But he also said woman. And I also feel like it could be Yuka from the original show, because I feel like in this timeline she would have been grown up by this point. Akane, I don't know. But then again, you could mess with like time and stuff like that. Whatever. Or it could just be another character. Like, maybe they're going to introduce, like, another grid person in there. That's something that they really haven't delved with in any of Gridman's stuff, is, like, the hyper world. Like, Ultraman has the Land of Light, and he has, like, the 75,000 different Ultra people. But we have only ever seen Gridman, and then Gridman's Sigma, his brother, in that one short, which I guess kind of is canon, but it's kind of up in the air. I am leaning with it being the OG girl Yuka, considering she had an episode based off of a promise in the Mummy episode. Oh, did she have a promise in that one? About her feeling a 1,000-year-old promise from the... Oh, okay. That could be. I forgot that was a thing in the episode. I remember the Mummy, which I know someone said before about the wrappings. That could be a small reference to that with Galma. But it could be Yuka, or it could just be like, it could just be nothing. Like, I mean, like, it could just be, I don't know. It could be there. That's a very good guess. I hope they find some way of bringing the cast of the original into the show. I kind of hope so too. I wouldn't mind seeing some, even like a nod here and there. When Pink Rika took Bluta to the music class, I was like, is she a music being? Oh yeah, the music people. You know, it's I'm always have trouble of like reading too much into things with that stuff. It could be, or it could just be a random thing about, you know, oh, you know, that's where what her sister used to do. To me, I think the 5,000 year is either some sort of hyper agent, hyper world thing, or the Kaiju Genesis lived in a world that traveled much more faster or something. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Yeah. They could be like, yeah, maybe they didn't exactly come from this world or something like that. Maybe they did come from like a different world. There's a lot of questions to that. Yeah, I feel that. I think Ippei technically made Dynadragon. I think he did. Oh, hey, Matt. Matt from Monstrosities. I've heard of SSS Dynazenon, but I've never seen it. Matt, you have to bring this garbage even on over into my streams. Good to see you, Matt. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, it's yeah, Matt, I don't know if this is something that you actually would want to see. This is, I mean, I'm enjoying it, but you know, it's more robots than I know that you know, you're not too big a fan on. Galma is the mummy. Maybe? I don't know. Like, I don't know how like directly how much they want to reference or intertwine this with the original Gridman. The fact that he's got the dragon, the fact that there are technically like bandages on him and stuff, it could just be a reference to it. I'm not sure. All Gridman series so far has a thing with music that they have. SS Gridman with the music, Kaiju Girl, and Dynazenon Chisei in the end has a thing with testing a piano, and Yume's sister. Yeah, that's true. Matt, all I got is garbage. You've been to the streams we do. That's true. The Kaiju, Matt. Yes, the Kaiju, like, that's why I've been putting them in the thumbnails now. Like, I have really liked the design, so yeah, I might as well get to that. So, when the Kaiju eugenicists find this bad boy, I have not learned his name yet. I know that they've been doing it on Twitter. The SSS Dynazenon account has like been showing off the names. This motherfucker, like I said last week's Kaiju, I thought was like a good runner-up for like maybe my favorite of the week or favorite of the series. I don't know, like I like this guy because he got no fucking arms and he's got like a crazy like laser cannon on his back. Like it's so the designs in this series are like wild, and the color schemes, I'm like super digging them. Let me see if I can get like another good shot of this bad boy. No, that's not good. Yeah, he's just there, standing menacingly with his two legs and giant mouth head. This monster is a goofy goober. Yeah, I think that's why I kind of like him. That's why I liked, one of the reasons why I like Google is from the first season. It's a really weird design. And, like, I'm not usually for, like, a barrage of, well, you know what? I used to not be, like, a fan of, like, being assaulted with colors. But I've like in my last several years, I've like gotten more. I've kind of liked this type of style more. Like got like the kind of crazy like neon color scheme shit going on. The Kaiju are cool, but I sort of do wish they could exposition more about the Kaiju. If the Kaiju Genesis like the Kaiju so much, like we could at least get their naming of the Kaiju or something. Yeah. I mean, I kind of think that was when it came to the first season. I feel like every Kaiju name, except for Anti, maybe. I think like Anti was the only one. Everything else you kind of had to find out through like the Wikipedia for Gridman. But yeah, like I'm hoping that they delve at least more into like maybe where the kaiju are coming from or something. Um I feel like again like it's those little like the little pearls that you saw dropped in the first episode at the beginning mysteriously. I think those are like where they're coming from. But yeah, I do hope they delve more into that. Gzilla 100, hey, how's it going? Thanks for dropping by. Uh, yeah, so hope you have seen Dynazenon, or at least if you haven't, you don't care about spoilers. Um, I just literally watched the best movie ever made. Oh, cool. What'd you watch? Was it I was gonna make a joke about GVK, but I don't feel like making a joke about GVK. That'll get me into trouble. Yeah, this guy. I know there was a couple better. There we go. I I don't know, man. It's just like I think that might be another reason why I like King Ghidorah from Godzilla. You know, he's just three heads. He's got no arms, and this guy has just got one big head, a laser, two giant legs. South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. I don't think I've ever fully seen that movie from beginning to end. I've I caught like chunks of it on television when they ran that like 30 times over on South Park on Comedy Central. I don't remember the last time I watched South Park in general. Yeah, that kaiju felt a bit forced in this. They just show up, but I have a feeling they will dive into it more later. Yeah, like the kaiju are just like it just feels like okay, we're just gonna have a kaiju battle now. And yeah, this one very much just felt like well, we haven't really done much this episode. Let's just have the kaiju quota filled. I hope that we do get more into where they're coming from, more about the kaiju genesis and exactly what they want to do. Because Galma was saying like they follow the will of the kaiju. I'm like, I don't know what that exactly means. Like these beings just seem to come out of nowhere, and all they want to do is like terrorize. And it's like before they start controlling the kaiju don't even seem to want to do anything. Like he was hanging off of like the electrical tower, and until they came and took control of it, it didn't seem like it seemed like it was just gonna be there. You know, just like the last kaiju, like the cicada samurai looking one. They don't seem to want to do anything, and then the eugenicists come in, and they're the ones who actually like make them start going on a rampage. So I don't know. I really want. I hope that it's not like a big letdown with the eugenicists. Like I hope there's something more to them. Figuring out like what they are and what they want. Gotta ask if you want Trigger to do a kaiju movie with Grafnica, the 3D company that makes all the 3D assets. What IP and pairs of kaiju minimum do you want to see? Oh, I mean, is it bad that like the only IP that I can think of because my brain is so empty is just Gridman? Like if they could do like a movie quality level thing with Gridman, that would be really fucking cool. And pairs of kaiju minimum do you want to see? What IP and pairs of kaiju? I don't know about that. I don't know. Like, okay, if I was just gonna say they were gonna do like a movie, straight up movie for Gridman, they had like some of the same stuff like these. The 3D modeler company was doing stuff for this, and they had Trigger behind it. I don't know. I'd love to see just a mixture of stuff from the OG Gridman with SSS and even Dynazenon, or also like even new takes on kaiju, because like I've loved everything I've seen in both anime series. So I don't know. I can't really think of any other series that like I would want to see an anime / 3D thing. like, I mean, I could just say Godzilla, but like I I don't know. My brain is too fogged with Gridman right now to think of anything else. Uh, what are your thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong? And is it really crazy that there's two movies where Godzilla battles King Kong? It is crazy that we've got two movies. Well, actually, I think it's crazier that we haven't gotten more movies with Godzilla battling Kong, to be honest. Considering they are, like, you know, the big kaiju of both East and the West. I don't know. My thoughts on Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong, it just goes like, I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was really fun. But I had to slowly turn my brain off a bit because I was already starting to feel a little complainy when I first started watching it with just some of the ridiculousness. But by the end of the movie, I did enjoy it. But I'm kind of in the middle because like I see a lot of people say that they really loved it, and I'm kind of like, okay, that's cool with me. And then I see people start bashing it on Twitter, and I'm on like, okay, I I enjoyed it, but it's also not like I enjoyed it for the battles. I thought the characters were fine. The people were fine. You know, it was an over the top crazy movie. But like honestly, I was always, when Kong and Godzilla were on screen, I was like completely glued to the screen. The kaiju before the kaiju Genesis feels like they were statues that just hooked like onto walls for some reason. Be interesting if they were actually kaiju statues. Yeah, like the cicada, like the one under the bridge, like I think it's like more of a cicada. Yeah, it was just like sitting there, but it kind of felt like it was like almost like, you know, if it's like based off of cicada, it was just like a bug hugging the wall and everything. And this guy, I mean, I don't know why he was hooking onto the power line, if he was like kind of like drawing energy from there, or it was just the closest thing that he could hang off of. But yeah, it just feels like they're not doing anything. Like the first kaiju, we don't know how that one happened. Like, did it pop up and then the eugenicist did the same thing, or maybe it already started moving and then the eugenicist took control of it? So I don't know. There's a lot of questions with their motivations and exactly what the kaiju do, or you know, like what their purposes are. This was another funny scene to me, like where he thought he blew them to smithereens, and then they're just they're just hanging off the flying one, like barely avoided the blast and everything. But yeah, like the whole thing of like, we need to know why you betrayed them, and it's just like, I betrayed them because I'm looking for someone, and that person is a woman. And it's like, oh, I hope there's more to that, because I just felt like really, 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 really fucking shallow. Like, I think that, honestly, that was like my biggest like letdown of this entire episode, was just that. Everything else I thought was really good. I liked a little bit more character building with kind of everyone in the show. But then yeah, that happened. But at least we did get a really good combination sequence in here. A legit, like, over the top, we're gonna spend like a fair amount of our animation budget to do a proper gatai shit. Yeah, and then this whole battle was just fucking over the top. Like, oh, we've got Dyna sabers. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. I like how they were cutting through the explosions while they were running. I don't want to run the animation too much on here, in case they're like, copyright. But yeah, this kaiju was weird with its power, because it just like caused like basically like a field or a barrage of explosions. I don't know, like, I thought it was okay. It's like all the other kaiju had an ability, and then they also had, like, a form of attack, which I liked. I liked that they had something that could be, that didn't have to be used for combat, and then they had a way that they attacked. Like, the turtle had gravity, and then it turned its neck into, like, a whip sword. And then the cicada teleported, but then he had like sword arms, but he also just had lasers. But this guy is just like, you see all these sparkles around him, and then there's just like 50 explosions, and it's like, that's his power, but it's also his form of attack. I don't know, I also find it kind of silly because he looks like he has a giant ray gun on his back, like a sci-fi old like 50s style like ray gun thing, so I was kind of disappointed he didn't like blast anything from that. I don't know, my own nitpicks. Last episode felt like the host reference. Yeah, I could see that with like Under the Bridge and stuff. Wonder what goes through the Japanese heads when they make this stuff. I do not know. Very curious. The shallow writing can be equated to Trigger just wanting events to happen fast, but like, come on, Trigger can't be excused from having some awkward story moments from their hyper energy. Yeah. I do wish that they had focused a little bit more on stuff like that. Like, maybe there's more to it. Maybe it'll be revealed that there's more to Galma, and this is just him saying, like, his main reason why, but there's a little bit more that he was hiding. Now I'm convinced he's the mummy. If they went for that, that would be hilarious. I think that would be hilarious. Happy Holy Bryce Day. Hi Nate. Hi Zim. How you doing? Thanks for coming. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Yeah, so again, here I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get a little bit more nitpicky. So they do the whole thing of like, you know, our hearts are, you know, like with the first kaiju, we were able to do all this crazy stuff because our hearts combined. So they like put their feelings together. They basically are like, man, these explosions suck. Man, where's the place where fire can't be? I have an idea. You know, as long as there's air, fire happens. So let's throw this kaiju. Dynazenon can in fact fly. Let's grab this motherfucking kaiju and then just blast off into the fucking atmosphere. Because no air means no explosions. Then the kaiju... I missed the part already. Kaiju just like tries to do his little explosions and they just peter out. And it's just like, oh no, I can't hurt them. I think it was like right here. Yeah, he's just like, oh no, nothing happened. I like, it's over the top, and I'm kind of okay with that. First off, like, we really blew the load of going of the atmosphere in episode 3. I feel like that should have been the last episode, guys. Come on, like, escalation here. But also, like, not the river. Not like try to fight this thing underwater. No, let's break the gravitational pull of fucking Earth or whatever planet they're on, you know, to just like to blast this guy. And also this like Dynazenon full burst. I'm not the biggest mech guy, but I do like some mech stuff. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit of a sucker for a robot or whatever thing that drops this entire ordnance and shoots like 30,000 different things in like some type of crazy coordinated attack. So I did appreciate this, and I like and then they blow it up, and then it's just like, oh, guess what? The head is still there. Fuck, Adobe's not wanting to like go. Okay, I like the fact that this kaiju just did not give up. But they're like, oh, know what? We'll just turn back into Dynarex, Super Dragon Dynarex, or whatever, and then bite its head in an over-the-top thing. I mean, like, that's Trigger's style, though. They do everything over the top. And then the debris hits Earth, and I swear to God, I thought this guy was dead. I thought literally, oh, they only have 3 Genesis to have to worry about, but he was not. How would you rank the MonsterVerse? Oh, actually, I did put that on Twitter. Basically, King of the Monsters, and then Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla vs. Kong, and then at the very bottom, 2014. That movie bores me something special. Today is a new episode day, so it's the day for our most holy prayer. Thank you, Zim. Episode 3, Trigger already took it into space. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, okay, I mean, I just feel like it's a little, whatever. That's just what Trigger does. Sort of wish the main characters actually said that they were scared of the kaiju potentially killing them as the reason why their hearts reunited in the first battle. Yeah, I need some type of build-up sometimes for that stuff, like where... I know it's a 12 episode series. I know there's blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I always, like, I get annoyed when there's not a lot of stuff given to, like, why these, like, random people who don't know each other have somehow been able to, like, unite themselves against, like, a threat. Like, even if they haven't known each other for that long, I could still, like, yeah, like, if you give me some type of... Even if it's a little flimsy, it's like, I could kind of get that, you know, like they're scared or they have people they want to protect in the city. So they're like, okay, you know, all of those once like, intersect and they're able to like do this stuff. I don't know. I do hope, since they do, like, they are delving more into each of these characters per episode, that there is a lot of, you know, like interpersonal stuff between the 4 of them. Like they learn to like deal with some of their own pasts and like grow together, considering in the first season, you know, Rika and Utsume didn't really have a lot that they could do to help people. So the fact that all of these guys are legitimately they need them in order to create Dynazenon and everything, you know, I hope that there's a little bit more of that. But I also know Trigger... I don't know, like, I think Trigger does pretty well with, like... Trigger does pretty well with a lot of stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to see. Just have to wait and see. I really hope, it's close to as being good as Quadruple S. I've liked it so far. I have a couple little hang-ups here and there, but it's nothing that bad yet. I just hope they don't drop the ball with it. My ranking on the MonsterVerse, Godzilla 2014, and then versus Kong, then Skull Island, then King of the Monsters. Okay, that's interesting. I know a lot of people like 2014. From day one, I was not a fan of 2014. So, but more power to you. I'm just was not a big fan. I hope stuff will be more like episode 2, because that episode so far is still the best episode to me, while somehow balancing the story aspect. Yeah. I feel the exact same way. I think episode 2 did really well. I hope this episode was just kind of like a, you know, it's just there, you know, filling out a couple things here and there, but like not a lot, because they're building up to something. I mean, to be fair, with Grid, the first, I don't want to have to say like because every time I want to say you know, in SSSS, but it's like both of them are both of them have 4 S's, and then it's like I want to say Gridman, but like then there's the original Gridman. So the first season, because I'm just saying this is the second season of the anime. I don't care if it's called a different thing. Wherever in the first season, there were several episodes that just kind of floated there, and I didn't watch it when it originally came out. I watched it months down the line, and I finally decided, okay, I didn't realize exactly what the show was all about, and then I decided to give it a watch, and I binged watched it. So, like some episodes where it was a little less, there was less stuff going on, I didn't really notice as much because I could watch the next episode, So I feel like maybe these drag a little bit more with nothing being there when you can't just watch the next episode, or at least for me, I feel like that could be the reason. But yeah, it just didn't. I don't know. I felt like the kaiju battle just kind of felt a little tossed in at the end. Gridman, Baby Dan, yes. God, I really fucking hope that song shows up in this season. God, it's just too good of a song. I know that originally I think it was the band or the group that did the first season anime's opening, Union. They did a cover of the original Gridman song, Yume no Hero. And when I first listened to it, I was not very impressed with it. I've listened to it a lot more recently, and I think it's alright. But there's just something about it that does not feel as good to me as the original theme song. And I really hope that they put it back in here. I have noticed, though, because I've been trying to listen to the music too, that there was a song while Dynazenon was combining that was very similar to one of the songs or tracks from the original, from the first anime, and it used some of the same score and stuff from it, but then at the very end it was like it had like a choir saying like Dynazenon or something at the end, and I was just like, what? And it's aggravating me because I actually looked up on YouTube, because the whole OST of the first anime is up on YouTube. It's like how I listened to it before, but I typed in like Dynazenon OST or soundtrack and got absolutely nothing except for the opening and ending songs. So like I was just kind of jonesing to kind of like scrub through it and listen to some stuff, even if it was gonna like randomly spoil something to me. But like they don't. I want to get the music. You guys have no idea how much I listened to like the whole OST from the first anime. God, my wife knows. She, bless that woman. She had to deal with a lot of repeating songs. Did not just fit with the strong energy of the original Yume no Hero. They did pretty well with their cover of the Gridman ending, though. They're strong singers, but strong in their own way. Yeah, I feel like that was the thing. I didn't know that they did a cover for the ending song. I need to listen to that. But yeah, like I thought it sounded good in their own way, but yeah, I just don't feel like they captured. There's just something about that Gridman, the original one, that just I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm hooked on the aesthetics of like the 80s, like early 90s, like music stuff, and it's just too good. It's just too good. If you're gonna do a remix of it, you gotta capture some of that. Capture some of that, like that pure 80s like garbage, and just I just can't take. If you're gonna do a bit of more of a rock cover, that's fine. It was okay. Not the best, not the worst. Just it was okay. Yeah. So they died. Yeah, died 5,000 years ago. I was revived in this era. Maybe the only reason we revived was because Kaiju defied common sense. Yeah, oh, that's right. So this last one, too, when Yume is talking, she's like, the power of Kaiju makes the impossible possible, right? And then it's like, she says, like, reviving people. And I'm like, I really wonder if that's going to come into play. Like, maybe Yume betrays them. Maybe the eugenicists, like, try to, like, do something, because they already said that they thought, maybe they could be comrades, maybe that'd be better than just fighting these kids, and maybe they could like recruit Yume over because her sister died, and Maybe they have a way to possibly bring her sister back. Deal with the devil sort of shit. I don't know. By the way, be sure you pre-order the Dynazenon album from iTunes. Oh, I need to do that. I need to do that as soon as I'm done with the stream. A Kaiju did revive a mummy in the original show. Yeah. That's right. That was right. The Kaiju did bring it back. Yeah. I don't know. It's there's still a lot of questions with this thing. I could speculate for like 30 hours on here. Just paused on a perfect brace post. Oh god. You know what, Zim? I'm much happier with you making memes of my face. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm happy to know that you got it from like my content, like from my channel. That's feel a little better about that. Yeah. So I don't really have much else to say about this episode. We got a fun, goofy kaiju in here. We learned a little bit about the villains and Galma. Galma betrayed them. Dynazenon can form swords. Dynazenon can break the Earth's atmosphere, the pull of the atmosphere, or at least reach up to like the. I used to like remember like at least a couple of the names of like the levels of the atmospheric shit. Whatever. He can fly up into fucking space. He can shoot a lot of missiles and lasers. They all Galma and the guys were alive 5,000 years. They didn't say jack shit over that. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize that till just now. I guess they show off some of the kaiju in the opening. I feel silly. I usually never like look at the opening like that crazily. Oh shit, it's right there. It's the fucking wow, I feel stupid right now. There it is. It looks like a kaiju's like belly or something opening up, and there's the little things. The little marble pearl things. Okay, so yeah, that is where they come from. And we got the pink from the first kaiju, that turtle thing. We got the let's see. We got the red laser from this guy from this episode. But the yellow and red spike stuff, I don't think either of those were from the samurai. And there's some like white up here in the front, or silver. So it looks like those could be hints to other kaiju. That's interesting. Also interesting because that green looked exactly the same as like the red that we just saw. So maybe we'll get something that's like a similar kaiju to our two-legged, no-armed friend. Anyway, guys, that was an interesting revelation. I didn't even realize, man, I know there's some people like Mother's Basement, Jeff on Mother's Basement, who like they analyze like openings for shows, and I never really do that too much, but I still won't. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's, if you just stop and look at it for a minute or two. Oh, and there was like some blue something over here too. Hold on, let me get away from Galma's ass for a second. Yeah, this like blue cyber looking thing. I again don't. That could be the wing from the guy. I can't remember what his wings look like from the last episode. Oh, okay. This green thing looks it looks similar, but it's different. It's not rings. It's like little ovals. Okay. Well, can't wait to see what kaiju these things are attached to. Also, I almost feel like this guy with the red hair, I'm almost expecting him to be like related to Galma, just because that they have like similar hair and they both have like, are guys who look like they both want to yell at people. Gonna pray to the Ultra God for episode 4 to have more banger moments with the story. In the meantime, gonna see how much time it takes for my anime list to have Dynazenon below 7. Man, I don't go to those sites. Like, I know, whatever. I know people. They're just gonna look at it just like, oh, this is your standard or whatever. With how much garbage I've seen come out recently from some of the anime stuff, like, whatever. No one ever appreciates tokusatsu, even if it's like tokusatsu anime. Ugh. They don't understand our I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining the stream. I think that kind of wraps up this episode. This stream. Yeah. This episode has been interesting, and I really hope that episode 4 next week has a little bit more to talk about. Or has a little bit more story in it. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And it'll most likely, I'm going to try to just shoot for Friday at like 9 p.m. But I'll post in several places, and I'll try to have like the stream ready to go sometime earlier in the day and everything. So if people want to know when it is. But I usually post stuff on Twitter, or I'll put up like a post on the community tab or whatever to just let people know. So, and if you haven't, and you want to see more of my content, don't forget to subscribe, ring that stupid bell, like this video, whatever, you know, do all that hot garbage, so you can see more garbage from me, Professor Kaiju, your wonderful Gridman enthusiast, not eugenicist, because that's fucking terrible. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. I think I'll be peacing out. Have yourselves a good rest of the night, a good weekend. I don't think there's anything else coming up. Right? It's April. Yeah, just have a good weekend. All right.